Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. My name's Alani and I'm super excited for today's video because even though it is my last Halloween video of 2021, it is my first special effects face makeup video. I hope you all enjoy. Here are the polishes I used for my nails. Along with the makeup and the props, I really wanted to do pop art nails. I had different ideas at first, but when I seen this idea, I wanted to do my own version of it. I got this idea from the channel Cute Polish. She's so talented and her work is just amazing. I left the link to her nail tutorial in my description box below if you'd like to check it out. Pop art has a lot of sharp lines and highlights, so that's what I did to my nails. I started with plain pink nails and outlined the entire nail with black polish. Then using a painter's brush, I put a highlight line on the outer edge of each nail and a dot on top of that. And to make the white dot on top of my highlight line, I just used the back end of my paintbrush. I've always been really messy when I do my nails, so I always get the polish on my skin, but that's okay because I used a Q-tip and some nail polish remover to remove it from the skin once all the polish had dried. Using one piece of foam poster board, I drew out a thought bubble, which is basically a cloud. You could choose many different shapes, but the cloud was my favorite, so I went with that one. I then drew out the smaller bubbles leading up to the cloud, and these are basically an upside down snowman. After my thought bubble was done, I drew a classic handset phone. I freehanded everything at first and then I used some tape to round out the mouthpiece and the receiver just so they could both be even. After my phone was done, I just used my eraser to erase all those extra pencil marks. With a jumbo Sharpie, I outlined all my pencil markings. I wanted the inner points of my cloud to be more prominent, so I just sharpened those a little bit and then it was onto the phone. Along with the outline, I put a curved line on the top and the bottom of my phone, and I drew a squiggle at the bottom to replicate a phone cord. I used an X-Acto knife and some small curved scissors to cut out my pieces. I had over 20 minutes of footage, and when I sped it up, it just looked funny, so I decided to skip that part altogether. I left my thought bubble plain, but I wanted my phone to have some color and I really liked this green, so I colored it with my chalk pastels. I painted the entire phone one green and then I used the darkest green to add some shadow and the lightest green to add some highlight. These chalk pastels are super easy to use. You just color whatever you want and then you use a dry brush to smooth out the colors and blend everything together. After all the phone was colored, I just had to go over all of my Sharpie lines because some of the chalk got on top of that, and then I did the exact same thing to the back side, but I did that off camera. For my thought bubble, I used a ruler and some tape to write out the word wow. I just wanted something with not that many letters and that looked like it would be in a real comic book, so I thought the word wow would be perfect. Then I used that jumbo Sharpie again to trace over the word wow, and then I fixed the edges of the bottom of the word wow just because those needed a little bit of filling in. To start on my headpiece, I just cut off the tags and the fabric from this headband, and then it was onto the floral wire. I cut 1.5 feet of floral wiring, and then I just looped the end of it and kind of made sure that it was all even, and I wrapped that around the headband, twisting the top, and just making sure that it stuck really well before I hot glued it. I hot glue the wire on the inside of the headband and on the outside of the headband where the wire is touching. I trimmed the ends of the wire to make sure they're both even. I originally wanted to be able to poke the wire through the foam so I could have it on both sides of my head, so I could kind of flip it over and have one side say something and the other side say something. But because the wire was so bendable, it was just not going through it, and then it poked a hole in the back of it. So I just decided to hot glue everything all together. That's why you see one side of the thought bubble says wow and the other side says subscribe. So just to sum that up, all I did was hot glue the wires to the back of my poster board, and then I taped it in place with some painter's tape, and it added some extra stability, and you can't see it from the front. And these are my nails and my props all done, and now it's time for the makeup. For the face paint, I used water-activated paints. I like these instead of cream because they sit flat on the skin, they look smooth, and when they dry, you don't have to worry about them rubbing off on anything throughout the night, and it comes off really easily with water. To create the pop art makeup look, you just need to outline your body and your facial features with a dark color and use a light color to highlight over those lines. It's kind of like contouring by creating shadows and highlights, except you're not blending it. They are all sharp lines. After I did my chest and part of my face, I outlined my nostrils, I put a little loop at the end of my nose, I outlined my lips and added some lines to the edges of my brows. I also outlined my ear in case I wanted to put my hair back. I wanted my smile to be a bit more prominent, so I pushed the lines out and up on the edges of my lips, and I just go back and forth darkening parts of my face that I think need darkening. I did this look a few years ago, but I wanted to do it for my channel and also do it with my nails and props done. I painted both of my eyebrows black and I outlined the sides of my body just so it looked more unison, and then I put a little line over my chin, kind of like where the lip and the chin meet. Lastly, I added some lines to the middle of my lips on the top and the bottom lip, but not reaching all the way towards the end. Then to highlight, I put 2 lines at the bottom of my bottom lip and 1 line at the middle of my top lip, a little bit more towards the side, and then I put white lines over my collarbone lines and in between my neck. I did leave a little dot right there by accident, but I take that off later with a water and a paper towel. After I added those highlights, I was looking at my eyes and thought that they needed a little something, so I put some lashes on the outer edges of my eyes. I just made 3 little triangles, making them go from smallest to biggest as I go farther out towards the edge of my eye. I added a little highlight to the tip of my nose, making a tiny little U shape at the very end of it, and then I put some highlight over my eyebrows. And here I'm putting some highlight over that chin line. If I could do this part over again, I wouldn't have it meet all the way in the middle, but I was just really excited to add some highlights, so I did do that. And then I used a paper towel with some water to remove that little dot in the middle of my neck. And then I did some highlight underneath the cheek lines and also a little bit of highlight on the ears. And the last and final step to this makeup look is to outline my hands, fingers, and arms. Here I am just making a line, and then I do it again, not realizing that the lines aren't matching, so I fixed that later, but I wanted to leave the clip in there so you guys could see that I had messed up, and, you know, I'm human. In all honesty, I was really nervous to make this video. I always said I would make a face makeup video when I had the perfect skin, perfect camera, perfect lighting, perfect everything. And in life, if you wait until you're ready, you're always going to be waiting. So I thought, just go for it. And I was really happy with the way everything turned out. And here's the end result with everything all together. Thank you so very much for watching and for being with me the entire month of October and always. I really appreciate every single one of you. If you do recreate this, please tag me because I would love to see any recreations you guys make. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share, subscribe, and I hope you guys have a happy and safe Halloween, and I will see you guys soon.